Hello. This is the first one of these that I'm doing. So if it's awful, we're allowed.
Yeah.
I'm sure it won't be though. It's going to go really well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you say actually, because even though I might know the answers to these questions, I probably actually don't, because you're the professional, I'm not.
Loose sense of time, but yeah.
So before that's just an introduction, so we'll just get into these questions. I don't want this to be really long, just like 5 questions, get the answers, and yeah, see what you're doing.
Cool.
Right, so what's your name and how long have you been teaching agility for?
So my name's Sophie. I've been teaching since 2021 when I first started Blue Spark Agility. I've been training and competing dogs now for over 10 years.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
I know.
So you started doing your own dogs and then you've just taken on agility because of the success you had from your own dogs, I guess?
Quite possibly. I wanted some equipment for my dogs, and I've kind of taught a little bit for other people, like going throughout my journey. And then I thought, why not try and do more agility? You know,
Amazing.
I love it so much. So
Yeah,
more the merrier.
So what is agility?
So I would say agility is a partnership-based sport between you and your dog. You are set a course and you're just trying to navigate it in the quickest time and without accumulating any faults. So the courses will consist of jumps, tunnels,
Which
weaves,
we've got here.
my lovely tunnel, A-frames,
Yeah.
seesaws and dog walks, so that's your contact equipment. And yeah, it's basically just speed and consistency.
And good fun.
And good fun, yes.
Okay, so is agility only available at competition level, or can this just be for fun?
Can absolutely just be for fun. I think first and foremost it is about spending time with your dog, building your bond and your relationship. If like me, you're a little bit competitive and you get fun out of that side of things, then yeah, absolutely. You've got you can take it to any level you like. So you can just do kind of fun shows. So like here we do like little steeple chases and stuff, which are just jumps and tunnels, just little friendly shows. And then you can take it all the way up to kind of KC competitions.
Yeah.
Great progression.
Yeah, so you've got your own club and you do your own competitions here, just for people that want to do it with.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of, it's confidence boosting.
Yeah.
It's kind of getting the dogs used to working around dogs they haven't met before in like their classes and such. And yeah, just confidence building basically.
Yeah, amazing. Okay. So what is the best age to start agility?
So the best thing to do would obviously be puppy classes before you even think about agility, that basic obedience. Teaching.
So you're saying they need to have some sort of basic training before starting?
Yeah, so you're kind of looking at your recalls, your sits, basically just teaching the dog how to learn before you stick them in this kind of environment.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because
so
you need to have some sort of control, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
You just let them go and just have a free
Yeah,
roll.
like bye.
You need to have some direction.
It does
some
help.
control.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And is there any problems with dogs if they start too young, or is there any problems if they're too old, or is it generally just like you work it to their age and?
Yeah, so you do work it to their age. So you can, some clubs will offer like foundation classes. Quick horse interruption there.
Nice.
So your foundations, you're kind of looking at your kind of 8 months old roughly.
Okay.
And that'll be low impact exercises. So no jumping or equipment or weaves. You're basically teaching the dog where their legs are.
Yeah.
You know, it's so important that if they're clambering over this stuff, that they know where their body is, so that they don't, you know, chuck themselves off the side of it. Working out reward systems for your dog, so whether they're food motivated, toy motivated, that kind of stuff. And that just, you know, it lets their bodies, you know,
Yeah. So
grow.
you're saying sort of about 8 months is a good time to start, and then but before that work on.
So if you're lucky enough to find someone that does foundations, then that's great. But I wouldn't say, you know, if you're just starting, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Let them mature a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you then start in a group class, kind of a year onwards, kind of 14 months kind of time, then that's absolutely fine. Sometimes that maturity is what they need to really hit the ground running.
Okay.
And then you can kind of get on with
The big
jumps.
stuff.
And,
Cool. Okay. And is there any breeds that this is really suitable for, or is there any breeds it's not perfect for, or is it suitable for everyone?
I'd say largely it's suitable for everyone. Obviously, you know, you see your border collies, your shepherd sheepdogs, your cocker spaniels, all that lot, your high drive dogs. You see a lot of those in agility, and yes, they are very, very good at
They're
it.
sort of top of the chain, aren't they?
Yeah, generally you'll see a lot of them up there.
Is there any like dogs that you've seen that you're like, oh my god, he's really good, and he's not one of those classic breeds?
Yeah, absolutely. Off the top of my head, I teach some epic little terriers.
Yeah.
And quite small little terriers. You know, again, obviously they jump lower, etc. But they're on it, kind of thing. Yeah, the ABCs is always a really good class to watch. So that's anything but collie. They've got their own category. I know. But yeah, it's so good to see kind of all types of dogs doing it. So yeah, they can all do it. It's yes,
good for everybody.
yes, the collies will kind of get on with it a little bit quicker. They're like, you know,
I guess that's
so
what
focused.
Yeah, I guess that's what the clubs are for as well. Is that bit where it's not like competition level. Like you could bring in your little Shih Tzu and do a couple of jumps.
Absolutely.
It's just something for you to do,
It's
isn't
just
it?
a bit of fun, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's generally, rather than saying it's you know, suited to better dogs, to collies and stuff, it's more finding reward systems that work for those dogs.
Yeah.
So your border collies and your spaniels and stuff might be more interested in like their tug toys and their, you know, stuff like that. Get that energy out of them and, you know, reward them in that way. Whereas, you know, your slightly less driven dogs might want a little bit of sausage at the end, or a little bit of cheese or something, just to motivate them a bit. So it's generally more about just kind of finding what works for each dog. They're all so different, so treat them as such.
Cool. How long does agility last? How long is each session and why?
Okay, so I teach both one-to-ones and groups. My one-to-ones are half an hour long, and my groups are generally an hour to averaging about 4 people. It's very mentally tiring for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's physically demanding, but also what tires dogs out better than running? Using their brain.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of half an hour is a good amount of time. It allows them to have a few breaks and stuff, but still.
I remember when I was doing it with you, and I always found it really interesting that the sessions were so short, and the dog was probably only running and performing probably for about 15 minutes of those altogether, because they have breaks.
Yeah.
But then if you do like a whole year's worth, the dog would have only maybe been running for an hour, but they've had like a whole year's worth of training. Am I making sense like that?
Yeah, it's allowing it to just kind of also like sink in, rather than just keep like drilling them.
You can't just like pummel it out, you have to break it down. It's like any training, it's like has to be broken down like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Working your way through like sections of the course, rather than just course running.
Yeah.
You might want to look at skills, you might want to look at individual things. But yeah, if you're going to practice at home or whatever, which you absolutely can do, even if it's just a 10-minute session, just to kind of get some energy out of them, it's so good to get them using their brains. It's just like any other trick training.
Okay, well, that actually is quite leading into the next question. It's about, is there any health conditions that can be caused by dogs taking part in agility, and if so, what can be done to avoid it? So I wonder if the sessions being kept to a minimum help with keeping them healthy.
Absolutely. You know, as you get more tired, or they get more tired, they do get slightly more prone to injury. Obviously, as I say, I'm in no way veterinary, but there are things that you can do to kind of to keep them fit and healthy. You know, as with any form of exercise, there's going to be wear and tear on like muscles and stuff like that. So I'd say keeping them a good weight, any extra weight when they're landing, they're going to feel it in those joints after a while.
Nice
so,
loud clearing a
literally. So
20 kilos landing.
Yeah, you know, as they're coming down the A-frame or whatever, any extra weight is going to get felt.
Yeah,
so
they need to be quite slim.
They need to be they need to be fit and healthy. Obviously, you know, my spoiled pooches, they get their physios and stuff, and their joint supplement, that kind of thing. But you know, just keeping them that good weight is very helpful to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just keeping them fit and healthy. It's preventative.
Okay, wicked. And then my last question is, what's your favourite agility tricks to teach and why?
So many.
I know there's
so many.
Such a library of stuff, isn't there?
Oh, it depends which dog you're asking me to train. No, I've always said that I love jump skills.
Yeah.
It's raw dog training. It's, you know, whether it's the wing wraps or the rounds, you've got threadle wraps, you've got loads of different stuff that you can do on just the jumps. It gets the handler kind of thinking about their body position. The dogs read you from
I
your
know.
face down to your toes.
You're incredible to watch when you do it. I'm like, it's so hard to do. Well, you'll probably say, no, it's not, but
No, it is tricky to get your head around to start with. You know, you got arms, legs, you got to be looking the right way, you got to be saying the right thing. But yeah, it's training you and the dog at the end of the day.
It's like a dance routine. That's how I would describe it. You have to like move in the same way. It's mad to watch you do
But
it.
no, I'd say a close second would have to be the weaves though. When
yeah.
you think about what you're asking the dog to do, the fact they know to go through the poles and they know to go in on the correct side as well. You have to enter on that left shoulder going inwards.
I think I'm gonna probably have to film you doing one of those. In a minute. I'm gonna have to.
Spirit would love that.
Yeah,
she
we're gonna do it.
loves the weaves.
And okay, just to end it, obviously I know, but you've just taken part in Cross, so we've literally timed this film actually pretty well. How have you got there, and didn't you get main ring?
Yeah, so we made our main ring debut.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I know, it was...
I can't believe I was sitting on to go Scrub. I feel like I'm literally like speaking to a celebrity.
But yeah, no, we qualified, so we had to win a class back in August of last year.
You have like trials to get.
Yeah, you have
training.
qualifiers throughout the year. Callie kept me on my toes the entire year. She came second quite a lot, bless her. But right at the end of the year, she won that qualifier, which meant we were going to the semi-final. She came second in the semi-final on the morning of the Saturday at Crufts, which was enough to qualify us through to the final, the Dog of the Year final.
Wow.
And yeah, she's the first dog that I've managed to get into the main ring. And yeah, I was very proud of her. She handled the atmosphere.
I was
the
literally
lights.
watching you like,
I know that girl, I know that girl. But yeah, it was so much better than I ever thought it
and
would be.
what was the result? Where did you come?
So in our age category, I believe we came sixth. We had one fault going into the tunnel. But yeah, it was heights combined. So bless her. She wasn't going to be beating those border collies, but I was so chuffed with making it that far.
It looks amazing. I'll definitely have to repost that too. So I can see. But yeah, thank you so much for that. I just hope that I find it really interesting, and hopefully everybody else does. And you've just sort of told us a little bit about agility.
Absolutely. Just get involved with it. It's such a good sport, so much fun. The dogs love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, my biggest piece of advice would just be find a club, do your research, and give it a go.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. Great. Thank you.